It's so great for you to join us. I hope you've had a lovely week. Now, today, brace yourselves. You're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be such a powerful next few minutes or hour or so. Remember to like, to comment, to share, and do watch to the end. And if you're not part of the family, hit that subscribe button. Now, today, I actually have someone that I consider a son. And this son of mine is so difficult to get hold of. I'm actually like, wow, we managed to actually sit down today and to talk, and to hear his story. So I'm really happy about that. It's been just months and months and months. So it's really great. I'm going to now hand over to you and ask you to introduce yourself. Godfrey.
Hello, good people. Hello. My name is Godfrey Tafadzwa Kadzere. All right. I am a liker of things. Godly things. just to clarify, that's important. I do. I like things. I like things of the Lord. I love traveling. I love connecting with people. I'm a people person. A lot of what I do as a multi-talented, multifaceted person just deals with people. I'm a creative. I'm in ministry with young adults especially. I do photography, I do videography, I do events, marketing, branding. Yeah, the whole shebang. I love conversation. So I'm also really, really excited about being here. You can learn so much through conversation. You can share so much. You can teach so much through conversation. So that summarizes who I am. Fun fact, Godfrey means peace of God.
Oh, does it?
Or God's peace.
Nice.
It has German origin.
Nice. Oh.
Tafadzwa means we've been made happy. Saka weMafaro.
Yeah. I guess you're going to talk about why you call yourself Minister weMafaro. I'm sure you're going to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. That's part of the story.
So now you can see why he's hard to get hold of. He wears so many hats.
That's true. Literally, I'm actually wearing a hat. A cap, more specifically. Yagatonyoronzi Minister. Which side is it on?
Minister. Yeah. Nice.
Minister weMafaro. I'm gonna plug my friend. If you want a cap like this, my friend, I know a person. I know a guy.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks so much, Godfrey. So now I'm gonna hand over to you and ask you to tell us your story. I know there's so much you want to share, so we can't wait. Tell us. Yeah.
Man, my story. My story is very dynamic. It's captivating, but also just like I think if we go back to primary school, right? Let's start there. I think for me, I think at an early age I realized that I am just going with the flow. Right? I wasn't too sure of who I am, why I am who I am. It was just kind of you're trying to be a kid. You're trying to be a son, right? So I come from a family of boys. I've got 2 younger brothers, so I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So the one after me, he's one year younger than me, and then the youngest one, he's 7 years younger than me. We come from a house of boys, and you're kind of just getting on with being a boy, right? The fun, the mischief. You're trying to learn, you're trying to unlearn. You're just getting on with life as a boy. But as you're maturing, things need to start making sense, right? You need to make something of your life. And I know my dad, so he's late. He used to kick us, literally I want the best for you. I want you to make something of your life. He came from very, very tough conditions in his background with him and his mom, my grandmother. My grandfather passed away a long, long time ago.
Well, that was good of him. That's a very noble thing.
Where they were, my mom, because she's a widow, she's raising her son, and it was tough. But what we enjoy today, what we benefit from today, what we're blessed to have today is the fruits of my dad and my mom's hard work.
Wow.
So for them, they always, it's incredible.
It is.
It was very challenging as well because sometimes you just want to just do you. Right?
Yeah.
But your dad is pushing you and it's like, hey.
What's the best for you? I mean, I guess, hey.
Yeah. So, I mean, but when you're a kid...
You don't understand it.
You don't understand that. You don't want to hear that. You just want to just do you,
Do your own thing.
Do your own thing. But he's saying, try, work hard, be the best. And because he's a standard of excellence, I learned that from him.
It's good.
I appreciate that it was instilled in church as well. I know my time at Celebration, standard of excellence is drilled
Absolutely.
into you. So yeah, shout out to Celebration. You know, so anyway, so I'm getting to the part where we were going from primary school to high school. I wanted to be closer to my friends, right? So born and bred in Harare, and I'm like, okay, so I went to Gateway Primary, and I'm like, okay, St. George's, St. John's, maybe Peterhouse. You know, you want to kind of be close to home. But my dad is like, nope, you're going to Falcon.
Oh, he'd already made up his mind.
He's made up his mind. I'm paying the fees. You're going to Falcon.
Was that where he went?
No. So he was he was at St. Ignatius, and then he went to Prince Edward for A-level.
Okay. But he was like Falcon.
Yeah. Because for him it was the best school in Zimbabwe, the best facilities. I want the best for you guys. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna fight it.
And how did you feel about that?
I was disappointed that I wouldn't be with my friends, and I was a bit nervous about going so far away from home.
Okay.
So there's a part of that in the story that will be relevant. Being a bit nervous about going away from home, but also excited about such a challenge because I'd been a day scholar.
Okay.
And then now going to boarding school.
Yeah.
I'm like, fortunately, one of my best friends, he was also going to Falcon.
Oh, nice.
So it was like, you know what? It's okay. At least I've got Simba there with me.
Yeah.
I'll make new friends. It's not too difficult for me, being a social bunny.
Yeah.
I've always been on this train, guys. Yeah. Literally living out my name, Tafadzwa, like the happy, joyful, bubbly, bright kind of guy. So yeah, that's how I was feeling about, okay, I'm excited, but also I'm nervous, I'm scared. What is it like? But it's like, you know what, I was also a bit indifferent and a bit passive about it as well, because it's like, look, that's also an important part. Mm-hmm. I've finished primary school, the next thing is high school. Okay. But I'm not really sure still of what I really want. I know what should be done. I know how things should kind of progress in your life stages, but also I'm not sure of me.
I think a lot of young people find themselves in that position. Yeah. Yeah.
So primary school happens, right? I passed. I think I got 7 units.
Okay, that's quite good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Your Shona must have been good.
It was. That's what actually tanked me.
That usually really brings it down.
That's what actually kicked me, because I think it was like 1, 1, 1, 4.
4, but that's 4
for
compared to some results I've heard. It's not bad.
Yeah. So get to high school, and now you're in this space with so many different characters consistently and constantly. It's boarding school. You're trying to learn living with people in that kind of way with boys. It's a hyper like vacuum or space that where everything is compounded, right? If it's personalities, whatever you're learning, whatever you're growing through, it was tough. Boarding school as well at that time, corporal punishment.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Being a boys' school as well, we got lashed or whatever it is, or if it was hectic punishments with seniors, a bit of bullying here and there. So that was starting to shape my character a little bit more on, okay, what I'm about, what I'm not about, discipline, authority, seniority as well.
Kind of molding you.
Molding me, definitely. And then there'll be a bit of balance on the breaks from school, going back for the fixture-free weekends, the holidays. So yeah, but still, I'm still trying to figure out who I am, my place in life, my purpose. And I was already learning that I'm really good at a lot of things. Okay. Right? So being multi-talented, multifaceted, we had so much more time as juniors. So we could play more sports, we could do more clubs. And I think the Christian part, the Christ part of this story was also really getting formed in high school as well.
Okay, that's good.
In primary school, it was the choir at best. I mean, it was great. Gateway is a Christian school.
It's a Christian school, yeah.
So, assemblies in the mornings.
Devotions as well. I like that, yeah.
So, even just growing up in a Christian home did form a part of my identity and who I am and a little bit of why I am what I am. But still, it's being so young, it was just still so hard to just take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Right. For a big part of it is it's kind of put onto you and projected onto you. Hurry up! It's Sunday morning.
Time to go to church.
Time to go to church. Or you're being told to go bath, whatever it is. Come be cereal, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still not your decision. So high school, that was starting to happen, right? So I'm kind of going back and forth, but we're still going forward.
Yeah, that's
right?
fine.
Every now and again, side note, I think about assemblies at Gateway. That was so precious. Like the songs we would sing.
And you never forget them.
You never.
Yeah.
You never forget them. You know, the songs you sing. So even, let me go forward. At some point, I learned about how I learn.
Okay.
Right? Some people are better with text. Some people are better with vision.
Yeah.
Some people are better with what they hear.
And
right?
what they do as well.
And what they do.
Yeah.
So song and music also was part of my identity as I was now starting to learn myself and grow into myself.
Okay.
So primary school, the choirs, all the songs we sang were Christian mostly, except for when I was doing some of the solos for the allied arts and stuff.
Okay.
I remember the first time I did it, I got honors.
Oh, you were talented.
Just putting it out there. First time, first go.
First time. Wow,
Yeah,
that's just natural ability, isn't it?
Yeah, natural ability.
Wow,
I mean, I have worked on it a little bit. So we've also done vocal training over the years and stuff with various music directors along the way. But
you gotta have the raw talent.
The raw talent is
I
there.
can work with
Shout
something.
out to my mama. My mother is the talent in our home.
Okay.
She used to play guitars. I remember seeing a photo album. I don't know if any of you 2Ks know what photo albums are. People know.
Everything's in the gallery.
no, everything's in the gallery. Everything's in the
I've got
clouds.
plenty of those. I've got boxes and boxes. Yeah.
So yeah, my mom. I remember seeing a picture of her in high school.
Okay.
With one of her schoolmates or two of her schoolmates. So they were like a trio. So she had the guitar. I'm like, Mom's, you used to play guitar? What?
That's where your talent came from.
Right. So it's in the blood, y'all. It's in the blood. Also, our family's Catholic.
Okay.
And Catholics are renowned for singing hymns.
Especially Ngoma. I love that. It's nice.
The harmonies.
Yeah,
so that sense of catching a harmony, being on tune, it's from the beginning.
From the beginning.
You know.
So you sang those at Gateway?
So Gateway, I think it's Anglican.
Okay.
Anglican or Methodist, I think. Although they're
kind of interdenominational.
Interdenominational, but I think they do have certain things they adopt.
Okay.
I know Falcon, I think it's Methodist. Because we did chapel as well and stuff. So also that's another part of my story, that because of ministry especially and my participation in the church and at schools doing Christian activities, I've been so exposed to so many denominations, and
that's a good thing.
It is.
It is. Thing. Yeah.
Of doing life as a Christian. You know, you learn from the Anglicans, the Catholics, you learn from the Pentecostals.
Exactly.
You learn from the
Dutch Reformed. Also, the Dutch Reformed.
Guys, there's so many pigs in this story. So, you know, being a junior, getting to that, we had Christian. They were like Christian leaders at at Falcon.
Did you have Scripture Union?
Yeah, we had like.
Oh, so they seem to have been at every school.
Yeah, so it was kind of like Scripture Union.
Yeah.
So we had Christian leaders. So I was starting to get involved in that, knowing that I can sing, and I'm very people oriented. I started serving. So we had chapel in the mornings. I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And then I think Monday and Friday was assembly.
Okay.
So chapel, like routine. After breakfast, chapel, then classes start. On Wednesdays, Wednesday evening, there was what was called midweek, right? So midweek was an evening service where it wasn't too structured.
Okay.
It was like a youth night.
Oh, nice. In the middle of the week.
In the middle of the week,
That's different.
So it was amazing. So midweek, that's where the chapels were hymns. And then all the midweeks were like more contemporary songs. So that's when I started getting introduced to Hillsong.
Oh, yes.
Bethel,
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Jesus Culture,
Yeah.
Planet Shakers.
Yeah, nice.
Um,
nice.
Also, I'd serve as part of the band, right?
Okay.
So I was starting to sing in the midweek band.
Were you playing an instrument?
No, not
oh,
yet.
not yet.
The instrument part is
Oh,
really,
gosh.
really, really
It's there
fun.
as well.
It's there.
Multi-talented for sure.
Yo. So, part of my journey is what serving started looking like for me. Yeah, you were compelled to run to God a lot of the times, being in such a space where, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
Boys, the adrenaline, testosterone, the egos, the pride, the
imagine.
competition. For me, I knew nothing else than to, just really, really be invested in Christian activities.
Okay.
So all the midweek services, any of the sort of socials we had with the other schools and other Christian teams in Bulawayo or Matabeleland, to be specific.
That was a very good foundation for you, hey?
No, it was solid.
Yeah,
it was really, really solid. And that's how I started leading worship.
Oh, really?
Started leading worship when I was 15.
Wow.
So, hey, I've put in my hours, guys. That's been like, what, 17 years? No? Yeah, I'm 32 now. So I've been leading praise and worship.
Oh, gosh, I didn't even know that you lead praise and worship.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's great.
Yeah, but it's because I remember one of the days, one of the Christian leaders, we were preparing for midweek, and it was like Godfrey. At school they call us by our surnames. Kadzere. Today you're the one who's leading. I'm like, sir.
And that's when you started.
That's when I was thrown in the deep end.
Oh my gosh.
You know the songs, right? Yeah, I do. Okay.
So you can lead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but
you did it. Yeah.
But I did it. So, yeah, man, I was still finding myself, and even with some of the decisions I was making, I realized that I was kind of just following the route of least resistance a lot of the times. Okay, I know that I need to do O-level, right?
Yes.
I need to pick subjects. Which subjects are the easiest? I wasn't picking what I'm actually passionate about or what I actually enjoy. What's the easy route to get through this thing?
Okay.
Right? It was such a difficult part for me in my journey where I know I've got so many important decisions to make because of how bearing it is that this can build your career or it's part of your life, with implications tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard. Ended up doing commercials. So like accounting, business studies, then the compulsory subjects.
That's for O-level.
That was for O-level.
Okay.
I did relatively well. I could have done better. Mama and Dad, I'm sorry.
You did the bare minimum.
I did the bare minimum. I won't even lie. Also because my time and efforts were just so spread out between all the things that I was doing. Like if it was first term, I was playing at least 3 sports.
3 sports? That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I know 2, but 3 is a lot.
So, and like 8 teams all throughout. Like, so like tennis, cricket.
You will be in the teams.
I'll be in the teams. And then there was cross country, athletics.
So you're like an all-rounder, basically.
All-rounder, very much so. Academics, I really could have been an A student. But yeah, no, I was.
You decided to put your effort more into other things.
Yeah. But no, it was just always so difficult to just, okay, what do I really want? I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
Right? The thing of just battling that wants and needs kind of thing. What do I need to do?
And that's the age when O-levels, because now if you're going to go higher, then you really need to know what you need to do. What you want to do.
Yeah, no, but I figured out, there are the times when I would apply myself. At some point, I did get a few class awards and stuff. So I knew that I could do it.
Even without trying. You were getting awards.
Yeah, if it was the academics, I can do it and I can apply myself. This is important going forward.
Did your teachers, I'm sure they would constantly write those things in your reports that Godfrey can apply himself more.
I would always have the awkward conversation or awkward silence in the car driving home after consultation with my mother, especially. Richie, what's going on here,
What's
man?
going on?
Why are you not applying yourself? I was like, but I am on the sports field.
The sports field and in the choir.
In the choir and I mean, it did count for something. In A level, like after finishing high school, I got honors for like colors for cultural.
I was gonna say that's actually a good thing because like unlike nowadays, they now have culture, sports. It's actually recognized.
Yes,
which
it is.
It's a good thing. It can form a career.
And in high school, that's a big deal.
It is.
If you get any sort of accolade, you feel like you're walking on water, right? Like you're him, you're that guy. You know, guys who got like the special ties, or the guys who got blazers.
Yes.
You know, that was a big deal for us. So you get that drive to accomplish something, to win, to excel. So that's a good part of it. But also the competition sometimes was toxic. Especially if it's like when trials are on, and you're trying to make the team. Hey,
win at all costs.
You know, but man, I was just kind of knew like, okay, I know I can do more, but how to manage that and balance it was really, really difficult. And the thing of being a jack of many trades started to be a thing for me.
Okay.
So I usually go left. Right?
Okay.
That's something about me. I kind of go against the grain, and I think I follow my dad on this. My dad was, very tenacious, somewhat stubborn, but just if he's set his mind on something, he's doing it regardless of who,
what people think,
or people say. And so I end up being quite unconventional about how I do a lot of things, and I realized that there's this grand statement about abilities and expertise, like being a jack of many trades and a master of none. There isn't a continuation of that, by the way. That being there's a jack of many trades, a jack of all trades and a master of none. But being there's an extension.
There's an extension of that. Okay.
Yeah, that it's actually not tragic.
It's not.
To not be a master of something.
That's actually a good perspective, I think. I think it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. So I realized, let me take that and mold it for myself and apply it to my life, that I'm a jack of many trades. Not all. Okay, but many.
And a master of none.
And a master of some.
Of some.
Right. So that was
not none, but some.
Yeah, so that's my adaptation of that thing.
Okay, that's
I'm a
different.
jack of many trades and a master of some.
That's good.
Right? And so even now, getting the instruments, right, I almost forgot that. So that's even the part of my journey with the music and the music ministry. I realized that I'm a songwriter as well.
Oh, because you are talented.
No, like
a songwriter. Yeah. That's amazing.
So I realized, it was part of, whenever I'd be going for the choirs and whatever, I'd be humming melodies and lyrics would start coming up and I'm like, wait, I need to put this down before I forget it.
Yeah.
And we barely had access to our phones at the time.
Oh, at school?
At school, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So this is what, early 2000s. So, Form 1 was 2006. So 09, 10 was now O level, getting into A level. So as a senior, you then had a bit more access to your phone. But still as a junior, I'm like, I've got all these songs that need to be birthed.
Yeah.
And produced and stuff. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to actually arrange these songs and bring them to life and just bring them from my mind, my heart to a production, a record. What instrument can I use to do this? I figured that it was better to use a piano.
A piano?
Right?
Okay.
So what would happen is there would be lessons in the mornings and then lunch, and then there would be like a rest period.
Yeah.
Which you were either supposed to be actually resting. So you were like, if you weren't doing any sport or traveling or anything, you had to be in the house resting, right? So I would have that bit of a window sometimes if it's not the next practice session or match. And I would I figured, okay, I can go to the chapel and just figure out this instrument. So I actually ended up teaching myself.
Self-taught, wow.
How to play this thing. And so I learned to play by ear. So I have no musical like theory or whatever. We did have
Like you
few
don't
lessons.
read music as such.
I can't read music to save my life.
But you've got the ability to,
Yeah. So
to create. That's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah. So I would spend hours in the chapel.
Okay.
Just okay, I'll press. Okay, that sounds nice. Okay, cool. This makes
Really?
sense. Yeah.
Wow.
I ended up developing. So there's an actual proper way of playing. That way you gotta like really spread your fingers. But I was like, this is uncomfortable.
I'm just going to do it my way.
I don't like this. So I went left.
Okay.
Everyone is right
And you
about how
went
they
left.
play. And I went left. And I was like, no, I'm going to figure it. Because it still works.
Okay.
So, hours until I actually figured, okay, I know my chord progressions and whatever. So I started writing music.
Oh, wow.
So this is when I was 15, 16. And I haven't turned back since. I had a book that had... so a lot of them I ended up just memorizing them and just knowing how they sounded. Till when I got a phone, I had to now type it out, put the chords, and I learned. So yeah.
So you had to learn about chords. So that you have a way of recording the music.
Yes.
Okay.
And also to be able to translate it to someone else who would help me to bring that song to life. So even just my first recording session, I remember that happened in high school. There was one of the seniors. He was really, really good with the music thing. At that time, I remember even how I started the poetry as well. So I'm also a spoken word artist.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Interesting, hey? Very
Claps
interesting.
once. I remember during break times, we would kind of have these sort of battle rap, beatboxing type sessions with Simba.
Yeah.
That's my guy, man.
Oh, your best friend who came with you from Gateway?
Yeah. So him and I, we kind of had this duo thing that we had. Like what did we call ourselves? JC squared, Jesus Christ children.
Oh,
super
Jesus
corny.
Christ children. Nice.
JC squared. But ironically, awkwardly, funnily, whatever. Funnily, is that a word?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not.
Funnily.
But side note.
But you can create a word.
We can create a word. Like, what's the word? One of the things that bothered me so much is that they added irregardless to the dictionary.
Oh, why did I bother you? Irregardless.
It's not correct. Regardless is sufficient.
I've never thought about it.
Why must you add
irregardless? Oh, okay. Like regardless, you're already saying no matter what.
Negative.
So why put? Oh, you know what? I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, and it's probably there. I don't know who approves. I think it's Oxford or whoever.
So it was added to the Oxford dictionary.
And there's probably quite a few words like that.
Yeah.
Irregardless.
Irregardless.
It actually sounds funny now that you mention it, that you probably say regardless of the circumstance. Irregardless of the circumstance. Hey, interesting.
I'm a bit of a bookworm as well.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a nerd. So I let's go back. Right. So we would do a lot of sort of rapping, sort of rap battle type stuff.
With your own, make your own words like, or singing songs, emulating songs?
No, so like there'll be just someone that has a right, and then you kind of just flow and you freestyling kind of thing.
Just make up your own words.
Make up your own words on the spot kind of
rhyme
thing.
and
but
stuff.
I realize I'm not a freestyler. I'm a writer. All right.
So you need to have written the words.
I need to have written the words.
Okay.
But in a way, you kind of like. So what would happen is I would like have maybe let's say 5 songs. So if a song would have a verse, hook, or a chorus and a bridge, so I would kind of like, my freestyling would be trying to take song 1's chorus, song 3's verse, song 5's bridge, and kind of just flow in between of them, like freestyling that. So it kind of just makes sense.
That's quite creative.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's also part of my story in terms of just the poetry stuff, because we would rap about like silly things, honestly. being boys, about swag, being cool, being dope. But I think with the advent of that Christian influence, it's like, bro, why are we rapping about this stuff? It's weird. Like, no. Like your scales full up from your eyes and you see the truth. Like, what are we seeing, bro? Let's rap about Jesus.
Yes, exactly.
That was a lot for us because we're like, what? And even our friends as well, we're like, boy, like, what's going on?
Or like there needs to be a difference.
Now we're rapping about Jesus. I remember even our first performance, there was like a cultural event talent show type thing. JC Squared comes up, and it was so cool.
Is
But
it?
people were like, oh, so they expected us to like rap about cars.
The usual
and
things, yeah.
They're like, nah. Masamba Chinja, guys. We're rapping about Jesus here.
And how did that go? How was the reception?
It was great because the hook was really catchy, right?
I hope you recorded some of those things. You've got
we've got this record.
nice,
It's
nice.
terrible. I mean, in the moment, it was the best
But
thing
it's the
ever.
heart behind it.
Yeah, no, when you look back, part of my story is I'm also a professional photographer, videographer,
really?
like certified.
Okay.
Gotta call it.
Wow.
When I look back, this is a side note. When I look
Well,
back at my
you
first
did
picture,
say you're a jack of
many
trades
trades and a master of
yeah,
some.
so yeah.
When I look back at some of my first pictures, hideous. like
So you're just starting.
now looking back, but when I was there, I'm like,
That
man,
motivated you, I think.
these pictures are amazing, and people be like, these pictures are amazing. But when I look, I'm
You're like, I think because you've improved with time.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like the color grading is off, or the framing, or the editing, it's too sharp, or something is wrong when I look back. But not in that moment,
It was good enough then.
it was good
Yeah.
enough, and it was our best, you know. But yeah, I saw it. So this thing of part of my being as this creative is just how I transitioned from secular messaging to Christian messaging.
Okay.
So all my writing, the songwriting, the instrument playing, it's all a form of worship that
Yes.
I learned about along the way. Poetry really became a thing for me, and I do a lot of the presentations at Christian events or
really?
like worship nights and stuff like that, which was really, really great experience and exposure for me.
Those are school days still.
Yeah, school days, but also even into uni, right? That's also another funny one because, again, after primary school, you go to high school. After high school, you go to college. After college, you get a job.
That's kind of like what people expect, hey?
But I didn't know where I wanted to go, if I wanted to. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
What you want to study, yeah.
So, of course, by default, least resistance, right? I found myself again in that space, and I'm not one for regret. I don't subscribe to the regret train, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And the man I am today is the resultant fruits of everything I've been through and what I've done.
So true.
So, yeah, I was supposed to go initially to University of Pretoria. In fact, I'd gotten, and then I had a change of mind on what I wanted to do. So whilst they were processing that change in courses, Rhodes University accepted. And I was like, how do I feel about going to Rhodes? Again, it was kind of like, all my friends are going to UP. Also, I do want to be in Pretoria, but Rhodes is not so bad. And
a small town, Grahamstown.
Small town, Grahamstown, and it's further away from home. Kind of like that gateway, that Harare,
moving to Falcon, like deja vu kind of thing.
Yeah. My cousin was also there.
At Rhodes.
At Rhodes.
Oh,
so that was kind of like, okay, cool. So my cousin's there kind of thing. But anyway, what was a big part of that, which actually is a very, very important part of my story, is again, you're in a foreign country. It's not just another city.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a different country. I'm learning and exposed to different languages, right? You're in South Africa. It's a country, it's 19 or 16 official languages.
Oh, they've got lots, yeah.
The Xhosas, the Zulus, the Pedis,
Afrikaans.
the Tswanas, Afrikaans.
Yeah.
So I was in the Eastern Cape, so that's Xhosa land.
Yeah, that's Xhosa land.
Fortunately, my time at Falcon exposed me to Ndebele.
Oh, because you're in
Matebele land. Yeah, it's Godini, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with me and language as well. And so as much as I couldn't speak it, and I don't regret it, but it is quite disappointing. I didn't expose myself enough to the language to actually learn it, because being at that school, Ndebele, we're always speaking English.
Yeah, I guess it was going to be hard to
do a bit of the Shona with people that you know. So I could hear people speaking, but I could never really
Actually
like
speak
speak
it.
and
Okay.
respond. But
Okay.
that came in clutch because Ndebele and Zulu and Xhosa are in the same WhatsApp group, right? The
Yeah.
Nguni languages,
Yeah.
and even Shona as well.
Yeah.
So the Nguni languages, so you can really make out what someone is saying.
Someone is saying, at least, yeah.
From keywords and context, and also if you're relatively smart like me, you can make it out. Oh, this is what's happening, right? So yeah, I didn't struggle to sort of fit in that Xhosa space because of that link to the Zulu and the Ndebele.
Ndebele,
I remember the one day, this is one of my highlights. At some point, I joined the SRC, so leadership is another big part of my life. I was a prefect in high school. Res committee leadership as well in uni, and then I joined the SRC, which is like the prefect of the university, honestly. Yeah, so I was in the SRC, and I remember during orientation, first week when the first years are coming through, so I was third or fourth year. Orientation week is happening. One of these parents came to me, so it was one of the students' mother. And she goes off in Xhosa, like from Molweni, Molo type, like
just
greeting.
Assumed.
So she presumed that I am South African, that I speak Xhosa, and I'm a citizen. For like 7 minutes.
Oh God, no, that's a long time. I thought you at least.
Yeah. So she would ask a question, make a remark, a comment, say something in Xhosa, but I'll respond in English.
So she should have caught on that you can't speak Xhosa, I don't think.
But I was responding.
Oh, you were responding?
Yes.
Oh, you could hear what she was saying.
I could hear what she was saying,
you couldn't
but
speak it.
Oh,
all right.
So I'm also getting like, I'm buzzed. Like, you know what? Let's do this, right? And, I'm working through this, and then the bundles ran out. Then she said something that I was like, okay, ma'am.
Can you say that in English?
She's like, but don't you? It's like, so. Yeah, no, I'm actually not Xhosa, but I do understand. And, we've made it this far. So we
But that I don't understand.
Yeah, that this, so that helped me to connect with people.
Okay.
I mean, being in university as well, it's a very, it's a pot of so many different characters.
It is, yeah.
That shaped, again, it just adds more color to my life in terms of just how I connect with so many people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in uni where I really started to connect with what I want.
Okay. What were you studying, by the way? What did you go in for?
I did commercials.
Okay.
So the accounting and the business studies kind of just carried out through high school, right into uni. So I ended up doing the commercials.
Okay.
So I signed up for BCom. My majors were economics and management.
Okay.
Management. It's management. In my spare time, I'm a comedian, I promise. Yeah, I started. Sorry, that was. You weren't ready for that one. So, I started to really find myself and know who I am and what I'm about and what I want, what I really want. And I realized that I want to be creative. I want to be expressive. I want to entertain. I want to inform. I want to encourage. I want to preach. I want to teach. Teaching, by the way, is one of my spiritual gifts.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So like Chronicles, First Corinthians 12, Romans 12, you learn about spiritual gifts. So some teach, some encourage, some speak in tongues. Teaching is one of my gifts. Okay. Again, shout out to my mama. I don't want to say this stuff is inherited,
but there's a link.
But there's a link. My mother is a retired teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm a teacher.
Okay.
Like even
that's good.
Yeah. So
like a teacher of the word.
Teacher of the word. Life lessons, etc. Yeah, I'm very much a teacher.
That's good.
So I realized that, and BCom it was a bit of an epiphany. BCom, I saw it leading me into an office doing a 9 to 5, and I was like, no,
and that's not you.
This is not my portion.
That is not you.
I'm not the one. No. Nah, so I started struggling with school. I was
Okay.
failing. It was a mess. And again, it kind of happened that, okay, I know I can, right? I know I can excel and actually do this assignment and actually, but my heart was not there. I logged out. And
Which year was this?
this was 2015.
So second year, third,
No, this was fourth year.
when you're almost done, isn't it?
Kind of.
Kind of.
But now, because I was like, there were
Yeah.
rollovers on some of the modules. So like, if I failed first year stuff, I'm kind of
Then you
doing it in
actually do-
second year.
But you
But
passed
then,
the halfway mark.
yes,
Yeah.
somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
So, that one was a tough part of my life. When you are faced with the reality of choosing you, but also trying to honor your parents, also trying to honor the process. You started something, you got to finish. Hard work, it's a challenge, but you can overcome it. And I was just asking myself so many questions. And I got to the point where I threw in the towel. I logged out. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. My mother, she phoned me. I remember it was after the finals. This is fourth year. I'm supposed to come back the next year to try finish this degree. So it's a 3-year degree.
Okay.
But I'm looking at getting into year 5.
Okay.
Right? And it's kicking. My confidence is getting kicked now. And I'm very confident. I'm very sure of who I am and what I'm about. But this academic record is not looking cute. Like, it was a mess. Lots of reds. And I'd never seen that.
Yeah, in any area of your life.
In
hey?
any area of my
Yeah.
life. You know, I've seen A's, I've seen B's, 2 C's in O levels.
And that was like the worst you'd
That
done.
was the worst I'd ever
Yeah.
done. But like, you
So you
know,
were a high achiever in a way.
yes, very much so.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my dad. Like, hey. So yeah, I'm just like, what's going on? After those exams, my mother calls me, which is kind of routine after most semesters. She calls me, she's like, yo, I need to book your flights or what's your traveling situation, right? When are you finishing? When are you coming home? Okay, cool. This is when I'm finishing. Please book for 3 days later or something like that.
Okay.
Just so packing. You also want to have that last party after exams are done. Of course. Sorry, Mom. If you're going to watch this, yes, that extra day was for Boogie. I'm telling you. You know, so yeah, 3 days later or something like that. Cool. All right, so your return, what's the plan? When are you going back? About that, I'm not going back to school next year. There was a 45-second silence. Not that I counted, but I think it was 45 seconds. It was very awkward and scary. Hey, I'm telling my mother that I'm dropping out of school. An African mother, by the way.
That's us.
It was my dad that was the real concern because he was more authoritative.
It's usually like that.
The scary
Generally
one,
speaking,
you know?
Yeah.
And I think one of the first was, she says, like, what are we going to tell your father? I'm like, you know what? Just tell him. I'll deal with it when I get there. But I know for sure that I'm not coming back to this place. I can't do it anymore. That was hard for me. Always being on the can-do, the optimistic, the positive, the let's go, let's do this. You know, for some of you who follow my socials, I'm very bright and I encourage and I spur on. But this time, I'm the one who needed that. I'm the one who was throwing in the towel. I'm the one who was just like, I
can't do it anymore.
I can't do it anymore. That was hard. My psyche, my mental health, my well-being, everything, my spirit was down. But I also knew, just even when she was asking me, so what's your plan? What do you want to do? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Just need some time out. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But what I know is I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not coming back. I'm not doing this. I'll figure it out. That also was hard because I kind of always know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of always do know what I want.
So this was like the first time.
This was the first time as
Yeah.
well. It's like, I am helpless. I am defeated. It's just beyond me.
Must have been a difficult stage.
It
of your
was.
life. Yeah.
It was. So this was 2015 going into 16. So I go back home to gap year. Now I'm at home with my dad, especially.
How was that? How was his reception on that news?
That was hard. It was. Sometimes, can I just say, sometimes it's annoying how God goes about things. I have my fights and my tiffs with God sometimes where I was frustrated. Like, God, why would you allow this? So this is I guess I'm tapping on, prayer life.
Yeah.
I was really trying to pray. I was really trying to stay rooted because I'm in the pits, but I'm trying to get back on the valley, and I know God is the one who carry me there.
Yeah.
Carry me there. So I'm like, why? You're just asking a lot of questions. How am I going to do this? What's going to happen? So I would avoid being at home as much as I could. I would leave as early as I could and come back as late as I could.
But where would you be? Where would you go?
So this is quite an incredible part of the story. I'd spend a lot of time at church.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. That's when I really started serving at Celebration. I would spend, if I needed to do some sort of work, I'll do it there. I'll carry my laptop. If I have some sort of money or some food situation, I'll figure it out. I was like, I just can't be here because with my dad, it was literally like lion to lion.
Like, what have you decided? What are you going to do? That kind of thing every day.
Every day. What's your plan? I'm disappointed in you. And look.
Sounds like a sort of like a typical parent.
Yeah, very much so.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So I knew what I was.
You can't just sit here all day.
What are you doing? Get a job. Guys, it was rough.
So you needed to get away.
I needed to get away, but also really also figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was hard. But I found so much solace in and comfort in being in church.
That was good.
And serving and so I spent a lot of time there. That's when I was doing youth ministry, became a youth leader.
Really?
That's when I was doing a lot of the music ministry as well. Started helping out with media. So I mean, I'm not like certified, but I can definitely do like sound. I can work the sound desk.
It sounded like your kind of thing.
Yeah,
the creative kind of thing to do. When I think of your music and your photos and all that.
Yeah. So I was helping out with the media team. I was helping out with the music team. I was helping out with. I was a bit of ushering or like hosting as well.
Wherever the help was needed. That was good. That was a very good idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, eventually, this is what, for me, again, was such a big part of my life where I remember it was around June 2016, sorry. I started getting this feeling, this unctioning that was happening. So just something to note, when we talk about how God speaks to you, I've never heard God's voice audibly.
Yeah.
Right? But I know God speaks to me. I know it.
Okay.
I've learned to recognize his voice through his word, through events, through other people.
Yeah.
Through experiences, through music, through songs, something that I may read, something that I may hear, something that I may see, I'll be like, that's God. That's God speaking. That's God telling me something. That's God warning me, whatever, right? And then there's also that feeling.
Yes.
That nudging, that spiritual nudging that happens. Started feeling this urgency to get proper counsel, accountability, guidance, having men in my life, a man or men in my life really holding my hand and helping me figure this out.
Oh, that's good.
Right? I couldn't shake it. And it was such a menace. And I was like, okay, fine, I get it. And the way that happened was such an incredible thing. So Simba, right? He was in SA, I was in Zim. He wanted, there's a pastor of his who was in Zim and going back to SA, and he's like, yo bro, please contact Pastor Z, give him this parcel and then I'll get it to SA because he's coming to SA.
Okay,
cool. Okay, so yeah, away. So now me making contact with him, hey, how's it, small talk, when can we meet, let's make it happen. Away. That feeling was,
Which was
and I was like, so it was. I just shot my shot at some point. I was like, I think it was after the exchange where we met up, because it was okay, where are we meeting? Let's meet here. Da, da. So we met. Cool. Here it is. A bit of small talk. How are you doing, young man? Da, da, da. Cool. Have a great day, dandy. But after that, I think a day or two afterwards, that thing was just kicking me, and I was like, so I sent him and I was like, okay, look, I don't know what to make of this, but we should be doing life together. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know whether you're mentoring me, you're guiding me. I don't know what it is, but let's make it work.
wow.
Right? It's the crazy.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, even just some of my closest friends today, you kind of see each other, like you bump into their profile or something on social media. I've DM'd people like, yo, this is weird. This is random. Don't take too much. Don't think about it too much, but we need to do life together, or we should be doing life together, or we need to stay connected.
Yeah.
And for sure, it just
flows like that.
it just
Yeah.
flows like
Yeah.
that. So that's a God thing.
It is.
So that's how it happened with him walking with me, and ever since then, I've been intentional about men that I've identified and that God has sort of led me to, to walk with me and do this whole counsel, guidance, accountability. Just being charged and commissioned to just be proper. It's so important.
It is very important.
Yeah, because that comes, again, a part of my story and how my life is just really developed with all this guidance. It's been so good. Guys, it's annoying in the moment a lot of the time, but kutsiurwa is such a good thing.
It helps you to,
I tell some of my other friends that are not really, spiritual or, Christian, etc., that I'm grateful for this, this accountability that I have, because I know I've been saved from a lot of sticky situations, where these men are bold enough to really refine me and bring me back to order. To hey, Mfana, what's going on? Why are you being dizzy? Chi.
Well, that's good to stop you from being a loose cannon. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, but. I eventually, he helped me to, really hone a lot of those, like, when you kind of have, your hands are in many parts and you're wearing many hats. He helped me to organize my wardrobe a little.
That's
you see that analogy? All the hats. He helped me to put them better. Like, okay, yes, we know you can do everything,
you can do everything. You're a jack of all trades.
do a bit more of this.
Okay,
try
focus.
that. Focus.
Yeah.
And I've since gotten things a lot. Things have gotten a lot better in terms of
That's good.
Refining things and managing my efforts better, my time better,
and prioritizing
and all of that. Yeah. So that happened. I ended up. He opened me to a lot of opportunities with the creativity. So I ended up going back to school.
Oh,
which was
wonderful.
a great thing.
In South Africa?
In South Africa, yeah. Okay. So there's this, he was like, yo, I did this photography course, maybe you should try it out. Because he had seen my pictures and he's like, you're actually really good.
Okay.
And I'm like, shout outs.
What kind of photography? Is this like nature or people? People.
So if it's the portraits,
I see.
The event coverage,
wow.
sort of marketing material, as long as there's people.
Okay.
So he told me about the school. It's called Vega. Shout out to Vega. They had this higher certificate / diploma.
Okay.
And you had to have a portfolio, and then you apply and stuff. So I had savings. So from the photography stuff that I was doing, where I leave the house early, I come back late. I would also pick up a few gigs, and so I had a bit of a few savings. I paid for this application thing. I sent in my application. I put together, which is a part of the story. I remember me starting photography was such a fascinating thing. Mm-hmm. My 18th birthday, my mom's sister, she's like, I'm gonna get you a gift. Tell me what you want. Mm-hmm. Anything you want. I was like, anything? What? An open check? What do you mean? So I took my time, right? I mean, so I already got into watches like I think 17, about 17, 16, 17. I was like, no, you know what? I got an open check, bro. I can get a watch another time. What do
Yeah,
I want that
something.
is significant and meaningful and that will really like last? Let me get a camera, right?
Yes, that's a perfect
It
gift.
was, I don't know, it was just I was like, you look, I'm very sentimental as a person. I love creating memories. I'm very adventurous. A camera would be great. Taking pictures of family events.
Yes,
Wherever I
absolutely.
go, I'm just got this thing. So we linked up. We went to this camera store. I did a little bit of research, and I got this really nice at the time. This was 2011. It was a digital camera,
Okay.
point and shoot, very simple, nothing complicated. But it was great. The pictures, the whole technology, the interface was like,
It was
what?
really
This is really cool. So the next year I'm going into uni now. So at uni, I'm taking this thing everywhere. Like
taking
the res
pictures.
parties, the school trips, the tours. I've got this thing everywhere. And I would post my pictures on Facebook.
Okay.
So I would tag people, and that's kind of how I became super popular. The camera guy,
The camera guy.
G man, Godfrey, hey dog, dude, that picture's dope. Yeah, hey, thanks for tagging me. So like that, the people skills, right?
Yeah.
Also getting home. It's like things happen for a reason.
They do.
A lot of what I've been through just kind of just made sense
It
in the
makes
future as well.
sense. Yeah.
So connecting with people, networking.
Very
I
important.
am
Yeah.
brilliant at that because of just all the skills that I've had to learn in all the vocations that I was doing. So I'm taking these pictures everywhere. 2012, first year, second year. I remember the basketball team. So I was also very affiliated with the basketball. Even though I didn't play, I was really cool with the basketball team. I played soccer and tennis in uni. The basketball guys were like, "Yo, we're doing a tour, and we might need a photographer."
Oh wow, for the
Right?
tour.
For the
That's
tour.
nice.
This is
Oh,
like
wow.
university, college tournament. I'm like, guys, count me in. I'll figure it out. I had only used the digital camera.
Yeah.
I hadn't used the DSLR, which is the professional one, the ones with the big boys. I'm like, okay, so they had the sports department camera. So I'm like, give me this thing, let's figure it out. So I just fumbled my way through it. Also because I'm smart. I'll remind you if you didn't know. I figured it out. So we started taking pictures, and they're like, "Dude, these pictures are really, really good. Okay, so let's do this. We're doing the tour. We do the tour. We come back
In South Africa.
in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. When we came back, this is July. One of my friends. This was on a Tuesday. She's like, "Yo, G, what are you doing on Thursday?" I'm like, "Nothing much." That time, I had 4 assignments to do.
And you said nothing much.
Nothing much. What's up? My birthday's coming up, and I'm gonna do a dinner. I'm like, student budget, free food. Let's do this. I'm there.
And you're charging, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no. So
This is free.
this is passion, right?
Okay.
I love taking pictures. It's not that deep. I have what I need, right? So even at the time, you're very privileged to get pocket money. So it wasn't a need. Money has never really like motivated
That's not
me.
your, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't if it's your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do count it as a blessing and a privilege. So I've never really put money at
Money
the
first,
forefront
yeah,
of anything. So for me,
that's good.
doing it was fun.
Yeah.
It was great. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times it was a bit of a gate pass. Because if you have a camera and
You
there's
can
an
get into
event,
anywhere.
you're gonna get a media pass, you probably get like VIP access to, you know what I mean?
Everything is covered.
A little bit of a hack if you didn't know. So that was enough for me a lot of the times. Like if everyone is paying ticket prices, I got my camera, bro. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that deep. So she's
So it's
like,
a birthday due.
yeah, so it was a birthday. What are you doing? Cool, cool, cool. You're still doing photography, right? I'm like, yeah, I am. So yeah, I'll bring my camera. Cool, cool, cool. Then she asked me a question that changed my life.
you.